In the quiet town of Park City, Kansas, Kerri Rouson spent her days teaching students and enjoying a simple life. Memories of her childhood filled her with warmth. A father scout who taught her to fish, build tree houses, and find beauty in nature. Rader, her father, seemed like the epitome of a family man, a community leader, a person radiating warmth and confidence. Yet, on December the 26th, 2004, when Kerri and her husband went to her parents for Christmas, nothing hinted at the storm to come. Her father's last words to her before she left, "I love you," seemed so ordinary, but soon took on a new, sinister meaning. In February 2005, an FBI agent came to Kerri with shocking news. Her father, Rader, was arrested as a serial killer known as BTK, bind, torture, kill, responsible for the deaths of at least 10 people. Kerri's world collapsed. The love and respect she had for her father turned into fear and revulsion. After the initial shock, Kerri began seeking answers. She collaborated with the FBI, helping to uncover her father's crimes. In the process, she learned the terrible details of how her father hid his double life, murdering and terrorizing his victims while at home he remained a loving father and husband. Kerri struggled to understand how a person she had known all her life could hide such a dark side. She delved into the psychology of serial killers, trying to find an explanation. But the answers only brought more questions. Kerri discovered that her father was a master of manipulation and deception. He used his role in society to conceal his crimes. He was active in the church council, participated in local events, and was known as a reliable community member. These circumstances only intensified the shock and betrayal she felt. Kerri's struggle with this revelation affected every aspect of her life. Her marriage faltered under the weight of this burden, her career became unpredictable, and she felt her own identity had been undermined. But she found the strength to continue, seeking healing and understanding. Kerri turned to writing to express her feelings and experiences. She wrote a book in which she told her story, a story of loss and betrayal, but also of strength, forgiveness, and the search for truth. Her book became a kind of therapy for herself and for others who had experienced similar tragedies. Eventually, Kerri found a way to reconcile with her past. She realized that despite the horrors her father had committed, she should not let this define her own life. Kerri Rouson transformed into a symbol of strength and resilience, inspiring others with her example of overcoming the darkest chapters of her life. After publishing her book, Kerri began receiving letters from people around the world. These letters were filled with stories of struggle and loss, as well as gratitude for her courage in sharing such a personal experience. Each letter reminded her that she was not alone in her suffering. This became an unexpected source of comfort and strength for Kerri. In her search for healing, Kerri also turned to art. She began painting, depicting her feelings and emotions on canvas. Her works were full of contrasts, dark and light tones, reflecting the inner struggle between the darkness of the past and the light of the future. Kerri also became active in public activities, addressing issues of violence and mental health. She began speaking at conferences and seminars, sharing her story and supporting others who had faced similar tragedies. Her work helped raise awareness of the importance of mental health and support for crime victims. However, her path to healing was not easy. Every day, Kerri faced internal demons, struggling with feelings of guilt and shame for her father's crimes. She often asked herself, could I have noticed something? Could I have prevented anything? These questions tormented her, but over time she learned to accept that she was not responsible for her father's actions. Her relationship with her husband, which had been shaken after the shocking revelation, also began to improve. They both worked on rebuilding trust and understanding, attending joint family therapy sessions. Over time, their marriage grew stronger, and they learned to support each other during these difficult times. Kerri also restored her relationship with her mother. After her father's arrest, their family was shattered, but over time they were able to find common ground and support in each other. Together they attended events dedicated to the memory of victims and jointly experienced the anniversaries of the tragic events. As time went on, Kerri learned to live with her past but not let it define her future. She transformed into an activist, artist, writer, and above all, a strong woman who overcame unimaginable trials. Kerri Rouson's story became a tale of transformation, strength of spirit, and an unyielding will to live. As she continued to hold meetings for those who lost loved ones due to violent crimes, Kerri realized that her story and experiences could help others move forward despite the pain and tragedy in their own lives. She also began working with youth, teaching them mindfulness and the importance of resilience in the face of difficulties. Kerri developed a program that combined elements of psychological counseling with creative methods of self-expression. She believed that helping young people cope with their feelings and emotions could prevent many problems in the future. In her efforts to help others, Kerri also began participating in scientific research on the nature of evil and psychopathy. She collaborated with psychologists and criminologists, sharing her unique perspective on life with a person who turned out to be a serial killer. Her contribution helped scientists better understand the mental processes behind such extreme forms of behavior. In addition, Kerri decided to create a foundation in memory of her father's victims. The foundation provided support to families who lost loved ones to violent crimes and funded educational programs on violence prevention and mental health. In her personal life, Kerri also experienced changes. After many years of struggle and recovery, she and her husband decided to adopt a child. This step became a symbol of a new beginning and hope for the future. Raising a child gave Kerri a new outlook on life and further strengthened her desire to make the world a better place. Kerri continued to write and speak, sharing her experiences and lessons she had learned from her story. Her voice became a symbol of resilience and hope for many who had suffered loss and betrayal. Kerri Rouson's story remains a reminder that even in the darkest moments of our lives, we can find the strength to overcome them and find new meaning. As part of her journey to healing, Kerri began exploring various cultural and spiritual practices. She traveled to different countries, including India and Japan, to deepen her understanding of forgiveness and reconciliation. These travels opened up new perspectives on life for her and helped her find inner peace. In India, Kerri practiced yoga and meditation, learning from experienced mentors. She found solace in the philosophy of Vedanta, which teaches the necessity of awareness and acceptance of life's trials as paths to spiritual growth. In Japan, she studied Zen Buddhism and the practice of contemplation, which helped her embrace the idea of living in the present moment, despite a difficult past. Returning home, Kerri incorporated these lessons into her daily life and began incorporating elements of meditation and mindfulness into her therapeutic programs. She also started conducting seminars on self-help and spiritual development, helping others find peace and balance in their lives. Kerri also began actively participating in discussions about criminal justice reform. Using her unique experience and understanding of tragedy, she advocated for the importance of rehabilitation and psychological support for offenders, insisting that society should strive for healing, not just punishment. Over time, Kerri became an inspiring figure for many. Her story became a symbol not only of struggle and tragedy but also of incredible willpower, the ability to transform, and hope for a better future. She continued to write and speak about her experience, becoming a voice for those going through difficult times. Kerri also began working on a new book, in which she planned to explore deep questions about the nature of evil, forgiveness, and personal transformation. In this project, she wanted to share not only her story but also the stories of other people who had experienced similar tragedies and found ways to overcome them. Kerri continued her mission, despite all the difficulties and obstacles. She became a light for many in the darkness, and a living example that the human spirit can overcome even the darkest trials. In the process of working on her new book, Kerri discovered that her journey to self-awareness and healing was far from over. Inspired by the stories she heard from others, she decided to create an online platform for those who had faced similar tragedies. This resource provided space for sharing stories, support, and collaborative work on recovery after traumatic experiences. Kerri also began blogging, sharing her thoughts and feelings, the process of writing her book, and her travels. She talked about encounters with different cultures and how these meetings helped her in her own healing. Her blog quickly gained popularity, attracting readers who found comfort and inspiration in it. One of the most significant moments in her journey was a visit to the prison where her father was serving his sentence. This was extremely difficult for Kerri, but she felt it was a necessary step on her path to reconciliation. The meeting was brief and tense, but it gave Kerri the opportunity to face the past face to face and express everything she had felt and thought all these years. This moment had a profound impact on Kerri. It allowed her to release many feelings she had long suppressed. It was an act of courage and, in a sense, liberation from the burden she had been carrying within herself. After this meeting, Kerri felt much freer and calmer. In her new book, Kerri not only told her story but also the stories of other people who had experienced unimaginable losses and tragedies. She wrote about the importance of reconciliation, forgiveness, even if it seems impossible, and paths to inner peace. In addition to her writing and public activities, Kerri continued to raise her adopted child. She strove to pass on to him all the lessons and values she had learned herself: compassion, understanding, strength of spirit, and the importance of helping others. Kerri Rouson's story continued to inspire many. She showed that even the darkest moments in life can become the beginning of something new and beautiful. Her life became a testament that with proper support, inner strength, and unwavering faith in the future, any challenge can be overcome, and a new sense of life can be found.